bullet for a day for
Thank you very much.
today.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because everyone's been so interactive and engaged that we've kind of run out of time, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, SEQCA, is that how you pronounce it? For putting on the
Any of those things.
event this morning. Yeah. My name's Simon Cole. I'm on the Queensland Committee of the Queensland branch of Sustainable Population Australia. I'm glad that I was given the chance to talk because I've been to a few of the Brisbane Urban Coalition meetings. I haven't really had a chance to talk about Sustainable Population Australia. SPA's goal is to end population growth in Australia. We can do this by reducing immigration and by not supporting pronatalist efforts to lift the birth rate. Our motives are for environmental sustainability and quality of life. SPA advocates reducing net overseas migration to about 70,000 per year in order to stabilise the population below 30 million. Around 2/3 of our population growth is new arrivals. Since 2005, the rate has been historically high, and the last 2 years have been extraordinarily high. Nothing can grow forever on a finite resource base, and our ecological footprint already exceeds a long-term sustainable level according to the Global Footprint Network. Apart from Australia's ecology, what's at stake is our urban amenity, our public and private finances, and the widening wealth gap between Australians. While we acknowledge population policies are mainly the realm of the federal government, state and local governments are stakeholders who can exert influence. They also bear most of the costs of accommodating population growth. Before the last election, the Prime Minister said, "It's time we had a mature debate about immigration." We agree, but that was pretty much the last we heard of immigration during the last election cycle. This time around, it looks like they can't avoid it. SPA has been talking about immigration for decades in a measured and considered fashion, informed above all by reliable statistics. With the federal election coming up, SPA is promoting our position statement, which we issued earlier this year. To add to what I've already said, it states that while SPA rejects wasteful overconsumption, we do believe that all Australians deserve at least a modestly comfortable lifestyle. But this comes with an ecological price tag, which limits the numbers we can sustainably support without degrading our resources and ecosystems. SPA strongly denounces any form of racial supremacy. Our population position is purely about numbers and lifestyles. SPA believes Australia should lead by example globally, being generous in its assistance to those in need both financially and through the sharing of knowledge. To date, this statement has been signed by 17,350 people. SPA is unequivocally showing that large numbers of Australians support sustainable population policies. Environmental groups are signing on. Overseas organisations and political candidates are approaching us for collaboration and advice. This year has seen a surge in media interest. We have been interviewed extensively on Talkback Radio, including the ABC and Channel 7 News. Our Post-Growth Australia podcast continues to be among the top 10% of podcasts globally. The media is starting to recognise SPA as the experts on the population debate. Politicians are finally listening. Last week, SPA's communication manager met with senior advisors to the Shadow Minister for Immigration. We were able to point to the fact that the voting public is on side with SPA's considered fact-based policies, and that voters are frustrated with major parties because of their seemingly intractable support for a big Australia. We're pleased to see some evidence of SEQCA's website of planning for a sustainable population Australia. Your number one question at the state election was about population growth rates in SEQ and strategy for managing it. However, we need you to do more. Submissions on housing availability and affordability that only consider supply and ignore demand undermines our efforts. Densification and regionalisation are not environmentally benign solutions. Some of it is sensible, but more than anything, it serves as a distraction. Every kilojoule of effort spent pushing back on overpopulation yields a far greater return on results than resisting the symptoms of bad urban planning and overdevelopment. So collectively, our efforts currently are lopsided towards accommodating growth. SPA welcomes SEQCA's leadership in improving communication and cooperation between community advocacy groups. We look forward to working more closely with you. We would like you and every group here to sign our position statement and promote it among your contacts. Thank you very much.
Well,